Okay, so now I'm recording.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so where were we? Hopefully this is working, and I'll check in a couple minutes to make sure it's recording useful information.
Okay. Did we button up on the what is strategy management? Are you in good shape there?
I think we were good on the bullet points as far as with the strategic management.
So we'll bounce to the next slide then. What is strategy?
Yeah.
And, this is where I put the 5 P's in: the plan, the ploy, the pattern, the position, and the perspective. I had a one bullet that I think Dr. Meek said is that strategy is a roadmap, and he used the comparison of without a strategy, a company is like a ship without a rudder. So I thought that would be good to bring up. Strategy defines where we're going, and then the 5 P's, from what I gathered, it's not like they all fit together to make a strategy. It's just each one of the P's is a different way of looking at strategy. So I thought that was, at least from what I understood. And then it went on to the different types: the intended, the emerged, the realized, the non-realized, and the divergent strategies too, at least as far as the text went. But,
Right, so I tried to bring those back a little bit into the Coke Pepsi Cola Wars again. And it seemed like a lot of the Cola Wars was essentially just the positioning strategy, because they're both sort of just competing to be the best and not really worrying, like we talked about before, not really worrying about market share. Well, you know, just
I think I kind of digged a little deeper into what strategy was. I kind of made some notes that like strategy is a preparation for change. It's a purposeful and organized decision to react in a specific way to a specific circumstance. It takes in consideration the market, the business, and the market, the business it operates in, and the business current position. The correct strategy implemented the right way position a business for future success.
mm-hmm.
In order for the strategy to be effective, it must have a simplified plan that the team can understand and follow. You can look at strategy as a secret maneuver performed at the right time. So it was kind of like I went through the P's, but I put it in my own words.
Yeah, that's good. Absolutely.
I definitely like that. Could you share that with us, Steve?
Yeah. Give me just a second. Let's see. Let me see. I don't mess up something. Share screen. It's not bulleted. It's just, I don't know. Let's see. This is not that.
Oh, I don't.
No, it's this one. Let me maximize this. So, yeah.
Well, I can still hear you, but I lost you. I don't see anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't see the
I can see what you have shared. I see your screen. Okay.
Okay.
User error, I'm sure, on my side. There's, okay. Oh, here you are. Okay.
And it looks
I know
like
you guys are sharing kind of. Yeah, I was gonna say I know you guys are sharing kind of text. That was just I try to be brief and concise with what I had put in my notes over here. I know it's not as detailed as what we're looking at now, but I just try to summarize it in just a quick statement to define it in the chat window. I just copied my text over.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh,
I didn't. Let me see.
It's in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, the strategy is direction and scope of an organization over the long term, ideally which matches its resources to its changing environment. I didn't put anything specific about Pepsi and Coke. I was still under in the kind of gray area whether or not we should be focusing on the company specific or just giving definition at this point.
I mean, in his video, he said, just answer the questions. So, I mean, we could probably get as.
But it's not going to hurt, I don't know if Nora, if you've got some of those things to add in, I think we've all got our own little tweaks to it. And I think through all of us, I think we can point a pretty good big picture. I'm maybe a little bit more overview and along with Robert, and then Stacy's got a lot more of the details and some phrasing in her own words, and then Nora applied it to the case. I think that puts us in a pretty good circle. It's just how do we organize it onto a few slides, but it's pretty neat.
I didn't actually do a whole lot to bring. I didn't do much for the Coke and Pepsi on the strategy one. All I kind of said was that, okay, beyond them focusing on the positioning side of the 5 Ps, I sort of just brought in that it could be a proactive thing, it could be an innovative thing, it could be a reactive thing, kind of like Pepsi was sort of reacting all the time to Coke and sort of everything that they did. So I didn't really add a whole lot.
Okay.
So I think, we could take what's Stacey's little paragraph here and just break each sentence into bullet points, just PowerPoint worthy as opposed to being a paragraph, and then add in Robert's section here as another bullet point. And I think they're sort of all a little bit different, so it would work.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to move on to the next slide, or does anybody have anything to add with strategy?
No, I'm fine with it.
No.
The one thing that I had in my presentation, and this was just a thought of my own, my undergrad was in marketing, and what they sort of push is the 4 Ps of marketing, which is product, price, placement, and promotion. And this Coke versus Pepsi article really kind of highlighted all of those things. So your product is coming from the concentrate manufacturers, and they sort of are defining what the product's going to be. Starts off just as Coke, and then it becomes, some of the non-CSD products, and then it goes back into, okay, we're not going to do the non-CSD anymore, and then they take Coke, make new Coke, and Diet Coke, and, so they sort of determine the product, whereas the bottlers then determine where the placement's going to be. They have the relationships with supermarkets and the distributors to end users. And then, of course, it goes into a lot of price. So, in a lot of cases where one of the competitors sort of took a step above the other, usually the one that was a little lagging behind would go, oh, okay, well, we're going to drop our price and be more competitive. So product, placement, price, all that stuff is sort of the 4 Ps of marketing, and I sort of just drew those two. I drew that as a conclusion from
Marketplace, promotion.
So I don't know if we want to include that. Maybe it's too in-depth for this presentation.
Yeah, I don't know where it fits. Like I said, it could be maybe defining a little bit what the strategy was, at least as far as answering that specific question. That might be extremely relevant for next week too, if we dig into the case a little bit more. So.
Okay, well, I'll do the strategy slide, and so I'll pull a little bit of everything you guys sent, and then I'll see if I can find a place to add that in, see if it fits, and then we'll get back to it.
Okay. So you're doing a strategy slide, and let's see.
Can you send me your little
Hey guys,
strategy blurb?
I apologize to interrupt. I actually got a hard stop. I got to drop off. If you guys continue in a specific area that I can help add content to, can you shoot me an email?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Apologies. I have to drop off. Shifting the call back had me only limited to 1 hour.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for accommodating
All right,
me.
we'll see ya.
So Stacy, I would just, if you could send me that little blurb, and I'll break it up into bullet points.
Okay. I guess I'm asking, like, have we come to the point of deciding who's doing what portion of, like, the slides?
I said I would take this strategy slide or whatever the second slide was. I can't remember.
Okay.
Whatever the second question. I can do strategic management. Stacy, if you send me what you have. Sounds like Nora, whatever you have too, and I'll just send an email out too at the end. Whatever slides you guys want me to do, just send me what you got, and I'll build them in, and get those back tomorrow, I hope. And then I don't think we decided on the Pepsi, the overview of the case yet.
I can tackle that one.
You can tackle that one.
Yeah.
So Stacy, if you got that one, and then we've got what a strategy slide. Nora can take that one, so I'll send Nora my bullet points on that one, and I don't know of a better way to do it. Otherwise, we're all going to be stuck around for 10 hours trying to knock out a few slides. I don't think it's worth anybody's time to do that.
Yeah.
Nora's got some kayaking to do.
Yeah, driving to do tonight.
Driving. That's cool.
All right, so let's move on to the next one then. So why is strategic management important? I have a single bullet point to add value.
Yeah, I came up with a few. Maybe I can do what? Oh, let's see if I can share. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullets. First one defines why some firms outperform others. Next one keeps the firms going and running. Next bullet point, I don't know where I came up with this one. I just put it down. I can't remember where it was, if I read it or heard it, but I put down good strategy with poor management can lead to bad results. So the man basically saying that even with a good strategy, that doesn't make it successful. You've got to have the good strategy management as well. Let's see, next one, because it allows an organization to initiate activities, influence activities, and be proactive rather than reactive in its strategy, so that it has full control over its own identity. That's more than a bullet point, I know that. Next one, identify and capitalize on the company's core competencies. And then next one, it drives company's growth. So kind of what Nora said, it adds, what did you say, add value? Or, yeah. So those are my bullet points.
Okay.
Just brainstorm ideas. I didn't have time to get them organized into a complete thought pattern, but.
Okay. I guess I have a small paragraph again. I just put strategic management is important because without it, you cannot actively prepare for the changes in the market. It is a complex concept that is a combination of art and science. Science is knowing what to do and art is knowing when to do it. It is intuitive. It has eyes that can satisfy the requirements of today and an ear to anticipate future needs. Strategic management will never be understood without eyes of creativity. It is always looking for an opening to progress its firm's goals and objectives. Without strategic management, businesses lack focus and direction. I guess I keep trying to like go a little bit deeper. The only thing is I didn't put it in bullets because
It's hard.
yeah, it's okay. How do you say this so that you get the full view of what's trying to be said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that works. Even just that way, you could just break each of those sentences up into a bullet point and just eliminate the fluff, you know, the it is or the. I think it works. Okay, so I've kind of combined those points. So what I have here, why is strategic management important? To add value to a business. It defines why some companies outperform others. It keeps firms going. Good strategy and poor management results in poor results. It allows an organization to initiate activities, be proactive instead of reactive, to identify and capitalize on core competencies, drive companies' growth. And we got a couple of Stacy's: active preparation, combine art and science, must have eyes of creativity, and focus on direction. So,
Good.
a little bit of everything.
So do we want to move on to the next question?
Yeah, sure.
Well, this is the one I actually had bullets for.
Yeah, good.
The question was, what factors influence firm performance? Based on, to me, this question I was able to answer by looking at all of the videos that we reviewed. Lack of direction, lack of a simple strategy, unknown key drivers, unknown critical challenges, unknown must-win battles, lack of knowledge regarding where you will play and how you will win, strategy not communicated to team and monitored for implementation, unknown primary customer, unfocused metrics, lack of urgency, a sense of complacency, and like a poor perception of strategy when you view strategizing as being analytical instead of animated and fun.
Mm-hmm. I think those are all good. But the only thing I would say about your bullet points there is they would all influence the firm's performance in a negative direction versus there's a negative side. I don't know if there's a way to rephrase those.
Okay.
To say the direction of the company influences the performance, or I don't know.
You just got
everything
really.
You have is exactly right. I mean, it's better than what I have, so I don't want to be critical. It's just
No, it's fine, but to be honest, I'm looking at the videos and I took notes on it, and I'm coming across about what you don't do. So it kind of, to me, it's just my opinion. I can be wrong. They didn't even give you positives. They told you don't do this.
I know. I'm with you.
That's what I came across with. Like, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
So it's like, I don't know how to sit here and say, okay, well, let me give you the second half of it.
Yeah, and this one was tough for me. This one and the next one actually, because they're so abstract, and I don't know. I didn't have classes. This is my first introduction back into classes after being out for 8 weeks or 16 weeks now. So this was. I didn't have time to think this one through, so I apologize. But I think everything you have there is what I was thinking. I would said something like, the factors that influence the firm's performance is the strategy. That's something that would, the market would influence the firm's performance. The economy would influence the firm's performance. They're just generic things, strategy, market, economy. you know, those types of things. I believe there's and I don't know if this is where he's going with this question. I believe there's a white paper or a case study or something like that that's well known. That's the 4 factors that influence performance or something like that. So that's kind of, I don't know, but what do you have, Nora? What do you think?
I sort of broke it down into internal and external. So internally, I brought it back again to the 4 P's of marketing: your price, promotion, placement, and product. And then also you have your sort of internal strategy, how you're going to manage your employees. Where's your focus? Is it on your consumer only, or do you focus on making your employees happy, or do you focus on making money for the investors? So that's all sort of internal strategies, how we're going to steer the ship. And then there's external factors that are going to influence things, such as in the Coke, Pepsi, Cola wars, of course, changing consumer tastes, or your bottlers are unhappy because you sort of you've kind of been giving them the runaround for a while, and they're fed up. So it's kind of a matter of
I like the concept. Yes. Sorry. No, I like the concept of breaking it up, internal versus external. I think even with the stuff that Stacy had and the few that I had in there could kind of go along in the same way. The direction of the company, or the chosen direction of the company, if we would rewrite that bullet point for that, that would be an internal factor, as well as, the complexity or simplicity of the strategy would influence the direction too. External things, the must-win battles, the unknown primary customer, those types of things could play into that external component.
Okay.
Let's see. For the last question, I really didn't.
Yeah, you went the same direction I did. It's like, why do they exist? Well, because not every company these days, which is a good thing, but in all the classes I've had so far, the reason why businesses exist is to create value, which comes down to maximizing profit.
Yeah.
But then how does that break down to why do Coke and Pepsi exist? To me, it's the competition, and that was the direction I went with that one. So, they exist because each other exists and they have a competition. And so one couldn't exist without the other. So
that's a good perspective. I didn't look at it like that. And they fueled each other.
Yeah.
I went really basic and said it's the exchange of goods and services, which is most obvious. I didn't really elaborate much on that. So why does business exist? Exchange of goods and services, and to make money, of course.
Maximize profit, yeah. Maximize shareholder value. I don't know whatever term they're using. Although, if you ever take the 751 class, we learn that there's a whole other philosophy called shared value, which is not maximizing profit. That's pretty awesome. Pretty good study there.
Well, so as opposed to profit, you're maximizing value of some sort?
It's instead of making decisions that solely maximize your profit, because a lot of times you choose the wrong ones. There's like 4 or 5 different methods, but we'll pick one, like helping out your supply chain. So for example, if you are a restaurant or you are a packaged food type of thing, and your supply is from local grown farmers, then you would help the farmers. You would give them access to good seeds, or you would have, organic fertilizers, or whatever you would do to help the farmers. Then they create a better produce. They make more money from that produce because it's more valuable, and you have a better product in the end. So it's, and then hopefully your profit would go up in that sense. So that was what would be considered a share value. The emphasis is on the supply chain, not necessarily on the profit, but at the same time, profits go up in those. Or another example would be maybe there's an underserved customer in a poor area where they can't afford shoes, so you find a way to build inexpensive shoes that they can afford. Now you have an entire new market. So you may be making more money or maximize or increasing your overall profit, but at the same time you're sharing the value to other areas. So that's what it is. So you're sharing, instead of building the profit just for you, you're sharing the profit with other groups.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought of something. Specialization is sort of a big part of business, which goes along with kind of everything we've been saying, but
yeah,
I can grow 5,000 tomatoes much more readily than I can grow 20 tomatoes.
Economies of scale, yeah.
20, so it's economies of scale, specialization, and then of course the exchange. And it has to be mutually beneficial. So what you were saying about helping your supply chain, they win, you win. Almost every exchange
exactly, yeah.
has to be mutually beneficial. So
right.
Kind of all ties together. So that looks good to me. Okay.
I'll look through, and I didn't have time to do this, but I'll look through some of my old notes from a previous class with Meeks, because I'm pretty sure he asked the why do businesses exist question before, and I'll see if I can get a couple extra bullet points for that one too. So
yeah, that would be great. Okay, so that's all of them, right?
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay, so do we sort of have a plan of action? So Stacy's got the first one, Thad's got the second, I've got the third. We didn't really go anywhere from there.
right. Third one is what is strategy? The next one is why is strategic management important?
Right, I can do that one as well.
Yeah, I'll take one more. I'll let you guys pick which one if you want to do it. What was the other guy's name? Tyson, or was it Robert?
No,
Robert.
Yeah.
We also, I think there's a Tanya in the group. I don't know if she's.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from.
Okay. Okay. Well. So Stacy, if you send me, can you just send me that document?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll send it to everybody actually.
I'll do, I can take those points from what factors influence firm performance and sort of break them down into internal, external, and combine them with what I have.
Okay.
If that's the approach you guys wanted to take.
Okay, that's fine.
How's the recording, Nora? We want to check that?
I'm going to stop it and see if I can